Hello and welcome to this meeting today where we're gonna talk about micro-credentials in entrepreneurship. My name is Anna Hildur Hildebrandsdóttir and I'm the Program Director for Creative Industries study line. This micro-credential is part of continuous education as well. It's 3 courses. And we have the teachers here with us of all the 3 courses who co-designed this program with me. We got support from Ministry of Higher Education, and we did this in collaboration with the Iceland University of the Arts and Suðurmiðstöð in Breiðholt, which is part of Reykjavík Council. And we did run it as a test a year ago, and we have felt that there's a real interest in this, so we are very happy that it's now part of the curriculum and part of electives for those who are students in creative industries. It's 3 courses. One of them is Entrepreneurship in Iceland, and Fida Abu is the teacher for that. Arna Sigurðsson teaches Entrepreneurship and Innovation, and Michael teaches Design Thinking Applied. And I am going to give the word over to them now so they can introduce to you what each course entails. So I'm going to start with you, Fida.
Thank you, Anna Hildur, for the introduction, and good morning, everyone. My name is Fida Abu, and I am an entrepreneur. I am an engineer, also a founder and the CEO of a company called Geosilica here in Iceland. I came to Iceland with big dreams, and through the entrepreneurship, I learned how ideas can become real companies, even in a small country like Iceland. This is exactly why I love teaching this course, and it's not only academic for me, it's also my life and how I live it. Why this course? When I started building Geosilica, I realized that many people have strong ideas, but do not know how to take the next step, how to validate an idea, how to find funding, how to build a partnership, and how you can survive in this difficult startup ecosystem. So this course is designed to answer these questions. This is not a passive course where students only listen to lectures. Students will work like entrepreneurs. You will develop your own idea, work in team, analyze real startup, build a company, build a business model, learn how investors think, create a real business plan, and practice pitching your ideas. I want the student to leave the course with confident, practical skills and mindset for innovation. In this course, I will bring real experience from my own entrepreneurial journey. I will share with you how Geosilica started, mistakes we made, not a lot of them, but some mistakes, and how you raise funding, how we enter the international markets, and how innovation works in reality, not only in books. So entrepreneurship is exciting, but also difficult. Students will hear both sides honestly. One of the most interesting things about Iceland is how connected the ecosystem is. So in Iceland, startup can directly connect with investors, innovation centers, university, governments, fund, and accelerators. So for entrepreneurs, this creates opportunity that is difficult to find in many larger countries. A strong focus in my teaching is sustainable innovation. I believe future business must create both economic value and positive impact. So we will discuss green innovation, circular economy, responsible business models, and sustainable growth. As an entrepreneur working with geothermal resources, sustainability is something very personal for me. So this course will help students build practical skills, as I mentioned before, such as strategic thinking, problem solving, communication, pitching, teamwork, leadership, and creativity. These skills are valuable whether students start a company or work inside existing organization. The course is for students, for you who are curious, creative, and willing to challenge yourself. You do not need to have already a business idea. Some students come with startups, others come with curiosity, and some discover their ideas during the course. So the important thing is motivation and openness to learning. My goal is not to teach only theory. I want students to feel inspired, supported, and capable of building something meaningful. I want the classroom to feel connected to the real world, where students can ask difficult questions, explore ideas, and to develop their confidence. Entrepreneurship is not only about starting a company, it's about creating solutions, seeing opportunity, and having courage to build something new. So I hope this course will help students, help you to discover your own potential, and maybe even start the next Icelandic success story. Thank you, and I hope to see you in classroom.
Thank you, Fita, for your inspiring story that you can come with you to the course. So over to you now, Arnar. What's going to be the difference between your course and Fita's course?
Yeah, thank you. Hopefully my course will be a great primer for what Fita is about to talk about and all the practical tips and approaches that she is so excellent in explaining and inspiring students to follow. When I'm not teaching at Bifröst, I run a laboratory called East of Moon, and we work with communities and regional development institutions and different organizations in kind of developing the ecosystem of innovation. So what we will be doing is exploring sort of the bigger picture of what is innovation and what is entrepreneurship and what is the effect that it has on society. Because entrepreneurship is not something that just affects the startup founders or the entrepreneurs. It's in relation to society at large. And we all feel it, these changes that are constantly happening with artificial intelligence or other kinds of technologies that are shaping our communities and everyday lives. So the questions that we want to be working with in my course are, what is the value that entrepreneurship and innovation is creating, and how is that value captured, and what is the effect that it's having at society at large? But also, how are we as individuals relating to all of this, and how can we? And so what we will do is we will start with getting a critical understanding of these concepts of what is created through innovation and entrepreneurship. What is the value it makes, and how is this value captured? Why is it sometimes difficult to create new things? How does path dependency and lock-in and the pathways that society has already created make it difficult to come up with new solutions? And also how creative and innovative things often spring out of communities and innovation ecosystems. So what is the sort of social milieu or ground that innovation comes out of? I think this is important, not just from a theoretical point of view. It is important to be individuals in society and understand these things. And if we are to enter into this scene of entrepreneurship and innovation, we should have a kind of a critical understanding of its role in society. But even beyond the critical understanding and reaching out a little bit into what Fita will be teaching, I think having a handle on these concepts is going to be very useful. So when you apply for a grant from the government, it's useful to understand, why does the state support innovation? what is the language and ideology and thinking behind it. So if you understand that, you will have a better primer to understand what FITA is teaching you about how to reach funding and get funding. And if you understand how we think about the value that innovation creates, you will also have a better primer to make a business plan or a pitch where you explain what is the value proposition, which is a concept I'm sure that FITA will be teaching you. So the sort of purpose of my course is to make you have these tools to think about innovation in a hopefully deeper way than before, and prepare you to become a conscious and active participant in this ecosystem. Yeah, I'm finished.
You finished. Michael.
Yes, hi, I'm Michael Hendricks. I moved to Iceland 2 years ago. I've been teaching at Bifröst. During that time, I came to Iceland after being a partner at IDEO, which is a global design and innovation firm who works both in public and private sector globally. So from the US to Europe to Asia, Middle East, North Africa, and South America. And I've also taught entrepreneurship at Berklee College of Music in Boston. And one thing I've learned in all of these experiences is that design thinking is a broadly applicable practice that works cross-culturally, works cross-industry, and is, I believe, essential to building new ideas and putting them into the world. So what is design thinking? Well, it's, loosely described as using the methods and the mindsets of a designer to realize ideas. And so what are those methods and those mindsets? Well, we'll start with the mindsets. There's first the philosophy. You need to meet three particular needs: the human need, which is desirability, the business need, which is feasibility, and then the technical need, which is viability. And those particular needs, when overlapping, tend to produce relevant ideas and value in the world. Along with that philosophy of how these ideas come to life is a particular approach, this idea that you learn by doing. We call that build to think. And then also that we are not precious about our ideas. We fail fast to move forward quickly. And in combination, those two ideas are the underpinning of the methodologies we use. So I generally think of design thinking as a three-part process of going from inspiration through research to developing insights, which become opportunity areas, which are then actionable for prototyping and eventually implementation. And that process can be cyclical. I teach it as one linear process through the course of our semester, so that you get a solid foundation for what it means to go from the very beginning of having an idea to validating or discovering the relevance of the idea, identifying opportunities for creativity and design, and then putting those into practical use through a prototype in the world. I feel like much of design thinking education today is too theoretical. And why theory I think is important is I've just given you a lot of what might seem like jargon. Ultimately, what the class is about is being active and practicing design thinking with a practitioner on a real world problem. So we're going to work on a predetermined brief. This is not a course in which you bring your own idea and develop it. This is a course in which I give you a problem to work on. And I do this because I want you to learn the methodology and focus on that. Once you learn the mechanics, then you can apply them. You will likely use them in both the courses with Arnar and Fida, because they are ways to help you engage with the world, understand the world, and then take action on your business canvas, for example, or your business plan, for example. So by the end, my intention is for you to have a good understanding of the basic methodologies of design thinking. You should be able to apply them with friends or by yourself after the course. You'll have enough confidence to do that. And with that, I think you'll have the confidence to put new things into the world, wherever that is. That could be commercially, it could be private sector, and go from idea to reality.
Thank you, Michael. And so you will be providing the methodology, and that will be from the course start in August until November. So that's a long term, over 14 weeks, so 2 times 6 weeks and 2 weeks off in between. But Arnar, you will start with entrepreneurship and innovation as a 6 weeks course, and then Fida comes after that. So it sort of all works together, one after the other, on the sort of concept of entrepreneurship and innovation, and alongside both these courses, students will get training in the methodology of design thinking. So just to ask you, maybe, Fida, I know that you had students last year and they went into Gulleggið in Iceland, which is a competition for entrepreneurs. And I know there were 2 students from Bifröst in a team that became second and won a prestigious awards to go to a big competition in Latvia, I think, rather than Lithuania, Latvia. And one of the things that student that was with you told me that he got out of this was that you mentored him through that journey. Is that something that is part of the course, that they go into Gulleggið, this Icelandic competition, that you can maybe tell us more about? Or is that something that you just do because you're passionate about what you do?
Yes, I'm very proud of the student that got the second place in Gulleggið. Geosilica was in the top 10, so they did much better than me. I did mentor them after they graduated. And as Michael and Arnar mentioned, especially Michael, that even the idea they had in my course was not the same idea that entered. So we gave them the foundation, me and the team, Arnar and Michael, so they can learn how to build the idea and how to pitch it and how to. So it doesn't matter if you change your ideas after the course or you decide to go with another team. You will have the foundation that you need, that you can carry on with whatever idea is. So I mentored them after the course because I saw their motivation and passionate, and I couldn't, let them go. And they are doing really well, and they believe in their idea. But as I mentioned in my presentation, that you don't even have to have idea. You only need to be motivated and have the curiosity to learn more. And I will show you where you can get help, and you can get it whenever you want, on what idea you want. You will know the roadmap from our courses.
And Arnar, you are talking more generally about entrepreneurship and innovation. Does that mean that people even from outside Iceland could enter into your course? Because we are a part of a big EU open university network, and we've had the question there whether this would be useful for people outside Iceland as well.
Absolutely. I think most of the questions that we are taking on are global, and these things work similarly across different countries. And I think that what we're offering could be very useful for people who are determined to go into entrepreneurship or start their own companies or projects and go into entrepreneurial competitions. But I also want to encourage people to think of this in a broader sense, because even if you're working in a large organization or company or institution, innovation is all around us. Unless we're living in a cave, we're always dealing with either the effects of innovation. Like in every department right now, there are pressing questions being asked about artificial intelligence and what is it, how is it affecting us, whether we are in teaching or logistics or anywhere. And so even if you don't see yourself right now as an entrepreneur, you're part of this ever-changing world. And I think that obviously it's a great example that the students that go and make good in competitions and sort of go this direct route to entrepreneurship and startups. That is a great case for doing this course. But again, even if this is not the path that you see for yourself, I think having a handle on these methods and conversations is going to help you practically in any kind of a job that you're doing, really. I mean, I hesitate to say any kind of job, but actually I almost stand by it. There isn't a job here that isn't being influenced by innovation and entrepreneurship. So this is one of those rare cases where you can really say this is going to be helpful in almost anything you do.
And so even if you don't have an idea of starting your own company, could this be useful within an organization? Is basically what you're saying. If you're working within an institution or organization, this could help you kind of work out or navigate through changes.
Precisely, and maybe you don't see yourself as the entrepreneurial type, which we could also challenge, but you might be working with people who are, and having a better understanding of what they're going through is definitely going to help.
Mm-hmm. Michael, you said that you're going to give people an exercise or an assignment to work on so they get a training in this. If they do have an idea and if they're coming into and doing these 3 courses with an idea that they're specifically seeking to get a knowledge on how to implement their idea or how to take their idea into realization, would they be able to use what you are teaching and apply it on their own idea as well?
Tricky question, Anna.
I know, I like tricky questions.
The answer is yes, but maybe not in my class. So I'm very interested in teaching specific tools and methods applied to the content that we will have in our class.
Mm-hmm.
But then the access to those tools and methods will be useful for the other things they want to do. So I'm interested in giving the frameworks or the scaffolding that can then be applied to whatever personal ideas each student wants to develop. But in the course itself, I want the students focused on a particular content area in order to learn those tools. And the reason I do that is I find, while you can see why someone might be more interested in doing the work if it's their idea, it it actually introduces another level of complexity and bias into learning the work that I find distracting from actually learning the methodology. And having taught this now for, this is the 5th time I've taught this particular class in Iceland. I taught it for years at Berkeley. I know I know the tendency to be distracted by your own curiosity and interest when you're also trying to learn something new. And I want to keep those divided for this particular course.
You moved to Iceland some few years ago and set up your own business. And in a way, we are designing this course for people who are new to Iceland. We're offering it in English to build a bridge for them into the university sort of environment, but also into the startup environment. How valuable do you think that is for non-Icelandic speaking people, Michael, from your own experience?
Well, I mean, Iceland is in many ways probably one of the most accommodating countries to people who don't speak the native language. So that's actually a huge advantage to being here, that you can speak English and navigate day to day. But I think it can often be better just to be in a situation where you're surrounded by people who are all coming from the outside, so to speak, and sharing some of the same insights, stresses, experiences of being new, because that those fresh eyes and those fresh experiences can be beneficial in your creativity. So that's the main advantage I see in it.
Thank you. Fita, over to you on the same topic, because I've heard you talk about the story when you came to Iceland, 16-year-old from Palestine, and the system was very occupied by teaching you how to do hestur in the correct way in all the kind of different cases that we have, and it was difficult for you. So for you, because I know you're also working a lot with people of foreign origins living in Iceland, how important do you think offering this in English can be?
Thank you. Yes, I think it's really important, and it's the first course taught in English. And as you mentioned, Anna, that it's a bridge between your own education from your own country and to Iceland, because that has been a problem for the people from foreign origin, that they come here with higher education and then they don't have the language. Due to the language barrier, they cannot work with their profession. So when we were thinking about this course, we were thinking this is the bridge. Now you have a degree, or not a degree, at least some connection with the Icelandic University, building the network with the university, and you have some diploma that will help you to access the Icelandic market. I don't think that you have to live here for a long time to notice that Iceland is it's only one big network. So wherever you go, they will say, yeah, my cousin is here, and my mother, and my neighbor, and my daughter. So it's so connected, and you always have to start the conversation with saying, I also was in the University of Bifröst. I also worked there. So they will connect with you. So I think it's really important, especially because our test run last year showed that I've been following the people the students that were with us from a foreign origin on LinkedIn, and they will be doing this diploma has helped them so much to get a better job, to connect better with the Icelandic community, and to have an academical connection with the university. So they opened the door through us, the teachers, for the network in the real life, and then through the university to academies, and of course meet each other. So it's really important for people from foreign origin to grab this opportunity, because it's the first and the only university in Iceland offering such a bridge. It's really important. I can't stress out how important it is, because I saw it with the students that they were with us last year, doing really well. And that's something we've been talking about in the Icelandic community for a while. How could the people from foreign origin that are already here in Iceland and here to live forever, how could they build their own network? And I believe that it's through the university, because people love it when you say, I was also at Bifröst. Here is the connection. It breaks barriers. You start your life and you can evaluate your education here in Iceland.
And maybe important to say that those who come through continuous education, they do get a certificate that they've finished those 18 ECTSs, which can also be evaluated into any BA studies at our university. But Arna, you were also part of Hafnarhaus, a house of creative industries and innovative people, and they have a big portion of immigrants that have their studios there and their working space. And I thought about when Michael was talking about these outside eyes, of course we as a society are benefiting a lot as well from all the innovation that comes through the people who are coming from the outside and maybe seeing things with a little bit of a different lens. Can you maybe tell us a little bit about the community in Hafnarhaus and how that has been an important network as well?
Yeah, I have lived, well, I was born and raised in Iceland. I've lived in many different countries as well, but I have this perspective of somebody who grew up here. And there has been a lot of changes in the last few years with just the scale of new people coming. And there is a requirement for a shift in how society operates, I think. People such as myself, we navigate networks that were created 20, 30 years ago in schools, and we have to start learning to work in different ways of being more open and more transparent and accessible to people who have just been here for 6 months or 6 years even. And I hope this course can contribute to that. The startup sector and entrepreneurship industry or sort of environment, it's like any others. It works on certain buzzwords or certain jargon or certain concepts that aren't terribly complicated, but if you've not acquired them, you don't know sort of how to navigate it. So just kind of evaluation or equity or value proposition or words like that might seem daunting to you if you have an idea and you're approaching this ecosystem. And I think it is possible within a micro-credential like this to acquire these words and understand that they are not magic words and that you can use them to explain your idea and access the kind of support that you need to make it happen. And it is a cliche, but being different, thinking differently than the rest of the society that you find yourself in is a superpower in innovation. The reality of it is that an innovative idea that everyone is trying to implement isn't very useful and valuable. So sometimes doing things wrong or doing them within quotes or doing them in a way that nobody else is thinking about them is precisely what is needed, and is precisely what what lifts something or changes something. So I hope that a course like this could, give people enough familiarity and comfort in approaching the entrepreneurial ecosystem in Iceland, but also the confidence in kind of being who they are and bringing what they have, which is unique, to the table. That would be my wish.
Mm-hmm. And I think this is exactly why we went on this journey. I think we've pretty much covered most things. Are there any questions, Atli?
Yes, there are some questions. You have covered quite a lot of them, but I'm still gonna go through them. So there's one here, the first one, about like the type of person that would go to take this course or this study. It says, I'm not exactly the entrepreneurial type, and I'm still wondering if this would be a good credential to do. You've kind of covered it, but I think maybe since it was asked, could you talk a little bit about that? But we can also combine it a little bit with the experiences of the previous students, which is a follow-up question, like what do you know from the first round of students that took it earlier, and how did they like it?
I think mainly, I mean, this was a test run, so we were also checking out the best ways of doing this, but the original idea was to offer access to universities for non-Icelandic speaking people, but that this could be electives for the students in creative industry studies as well. So and that resulted in this fabulous results at Gullleggið. But we did work with Suðurmiðstöð in Breiðholt, which is one of the institutions that has a network of new Icelanders, and through them we invited the students that Fida was referring to, who have actually found it really important, and it gave them a certain confidence, and the certificate also helped them to show that they are really kind of in the process of creating a network. So yeah, answering the question directly, it was actually designed to offer an easier way into the community, into the university community, into the academic community. But the selections of teachers as well is very much connected with the entrepreneurship and innovation community in Iceland. So that was designed that way to open up that network for people, for immigrants in Iceland.
All right. There's another question. Do you get hands-on advice on finance issues, including taxes and legal framework around running a business?
Fida, you would maybe be best to answer this one. I know you've switched over to your phone.
Yes, I just also want to add about the first question, and I'm not the entrepreneurial type. I don't think it's a type. It's you see a problem, you solve it, and then you share it with others. That's the entrepreneurial, and I think we all do it every day. We just teach you how to do it at a larger scale. So it's not a specific type. Regarding the financials, we will do the business plan, but we will not go into like making the salaries, paying the taxes, and these kind of stuff. That's just bookkeeping. But we will do the business plan, and there you will learn how to put the income and outcome, how to break even, and these kind of stuff through my course. We will do the break even calculation.
Yeah, at least in the last course that I did, I didn't go into the nitty-gritty details of taxes and such, which is more kind of an accounting course, and there are definitely places where you can seek such advice. But I do talk specifically about kind of the personal risk and investment of being an entrepreneur, and those kind of questions about boundaries and involvement, and up to what point do you want to, work on your business, and what do you want to give to it, and where you want to draw the line. So I do kind of try to think about these kind of very practical considerations of starting your own small business, and give hopefully a sincere insight into what it means, and what's the difference between doing stuff on your own and working for a company. But that's more on a kind of a personal level, which could help you understand which questions you need answered about taxes and other things, but not necessarily teaching you how to file a tax report as a freelancer.
Thank you. I mean, the final question that I have received, you've also kind of answered it, but maybe you want to elaborate. It's a question of if you can work on your own idea while doing the credential. But I know that you've touched on it, but since it is asked, maybe we can elaborate a little bit more.
I think I will start, and then maybe Arna can come into this as well. Michael has been very clear on how the methodology of design thinking is taught through an assignment that he gives to everybody, and that how people practice it, and then they can apply it to their own ideas. I think throughout everything that I've designed, I kind of encourage people to use their own lived experiences and what they want to build alongside the studies that they're doing. So even if they maybe, if they have an idea, it is meant to be useful for them to learn how to connect these ideas. But there are certain tools, there is certain literature, there is a certain way of doing it. But I think it will always be beneficial for those who have an idea. But equally, for those who don't have an idea, it's a way to look into this world and this network of entrepreneurship and innovation.
So for what I am teaching, if you do have an idea and you do have a project that you want to make, or a business, the way that going through my course might help you is it might help you explain better what is the value of this idea and to whom is it valuable, and to have a bit of a better handle on like the concept, like capturing value out of your idea. It might help you as well understand the challenges of presenting a new idea into an already established status quo, and it could give you some actual tools to kind of get that idea ahead and explain that to people, and understand the biases that people have towards new things. It might help you also kind of to map where your idea stands in the greater ecosystem of the entrepreneurial system. I would not encourage you to think of this as like an accelerator, at least for my course. So an accelerator is a program that is specifically designed to help you develop your idea and grow and scale your company. That is not this is a learning adaptable tools and methods and ideas that you can take and use hopefully in various situations for a long time. That is the objective of this. course that I'm teaching.
Yeah, I want to add, I love the way Anna just put it. This is not an accelerator. And it's not that we're discouraging people who want to come up with their own ideas. In fact, of course, we want you to have ideas. This is why we have a micro-credential and we're teaching you these courses and we want to help you. But there are so many new ideas, practices, formats that you need to learn before you start applying your idea into them, that we feel very strongly at this point that those frameworks are going to help you be successful once you learn them. So we do want people with ideas, or we want curious people. And I wouldn't want anyone to think that we weren't encouraging ideas, but we also encourage, I think, an academic approach to this particular subject.
All right, thank you. That's it for questions. Do we want to go over the technicalities, Anna Hildur? The deadline is 9th of August.
Yes, so you can go into the Bifröst website. The information are both in Icelandic and English there. You can just Google Entrepreneurship Bifröst, and then you get into the English version of it. And it is already open for applications, and it will be remain open until the 9th of August. And then the starting date is the 3rd Monday of August, if I remember right. Do we have the start date of it, Atli?
You
whilst you find
you
it,
are correct. It's
Yes.
the 24th of August, I think.
Yeah, and then it is all online. We have something that is called staðlota, which is once every 6 weeks. We meet to do some kind of different kind of work, but all the lectures are pre-recorded, so it's very flexible. You learn at your own time, and you do the assignments and you hand them in online. You have deadlines with them, and of course you have to sort of follow the courses to be able to do follow the lectures, so you're able to do the assignments. But it's very flexible whether you are available to learn in the mornings, afternoons, evenings, weekends, or weekdays. That's up to you. So that's the advantage of Bifröst University, that we offer this entirely online. So you can study wherever you live in Iceland as well, or outside Iceland, indeed.
Thank you. So everything has been, all the questions have been asked. Any final words, or were those it?
I'd just like to thank you. Thanks to all the teachers for coming on this journey with me. It's meant a lot. It's an experiment. It's a new offering in the academic studies in Iceland. And I know that we're all available to answer questions and to talk to those who are interested or would like to know more. So you can email me. It's annaheits@bifröst.is, or just simply write to Bifröst and it will be forwarded to me or to us as required for each request. Thank you very much.